How's it been going for you there, Desmond?
It's been going well. Obviously, this was our third, fourth day in a row of padded practices, going full pads against each other. So it's been a good ramp-up period. Been competition between offense and defense, and so I love where we're at, and we're just going to keep continuing to get better.
The owner was in here yesterday, and he says he's got high expectations for you. Do you get any satisfaction that the owner believes you can be the quarterback of the future?
Yeah, obviously for me, that's comforting for me. Obviously knowing that Mr. Blank and everyone in the organization believes in me and my skill set. And then at the end of the day, for myself, it's about putting a higher expectation, even what they have for myself, and going out and trying to exceed that and be better.
Do you pay attention to any of that when you hear the owner say that, or when you hear Terry talk about you in some ways? Do you pay attention to that more than whatever us might say, or no?
I mean, it might, for me, it'll probably, hit a little more closer to home than what, a lot of the other media says. But, in general, I don't, especially at camp, I didn't see that, didn't really know about it. So, walked in here and, for me, it's just about going to work every single day, just, putting your head down and grinding. So, when I go back to the dorm, there's maybe 2 minutes of social media, if that, and the rest is kind of just, film and getting with the guys and going over the game plan.
I know last year you kept telling us that you always prepared like you were a starter, no matter what. This year you are the starter. So how does it feel? Does it feel a little bit different coming into camp, like knowing that you're the guy and not having to just prepare like you're the guy?
Yeah, it feels a little different, yes and no. Different in the sense that obviously, now you have the confidence to say that you're the guy and being the guy. But the same is, preparation's still the same. Still getting up every single morning and going over that game plan multiple times, staying up late at night and thinking about it, when the phone's down and you're just sleeping in the pillow with, trying to shut your eyes. And so for me, that's how it was last year, and, it hasn't changed as far as the preparation-wise this year.
What has Mack Hollins brought to that wide receiver group, you think?
Energy. He's definitely about energy, and for us, he's a big deep ball threat, a big guy to go up and get the ball. You see him, and he's big, he's fast, he's muscular, he's physical in the run game. And then, sometimes, a lot of wide receiver rooms, lack that guy that, might either doesn't have energy or whatever it may be, and they always need someone to kind of bring them up. Mack, Frank Darby, those two guys are those two main guys in that room.
Off what Michael and D'Lo were just talking about, yesterday, Arthur Blank did say he envisions you being the quarterback of the future here, and Arthur Smith, Terry Fontenot sort of reiterated that statement. But I know Twitter's not real life, but you see a lot of the, like you were saying, some of those national folks sort of saying like, oh, the Falcons, we're not quite sure about their quarterback. Does that kind of stuff ever bug you, or do you not even really pay attention to something?
No, I don't really pay attention to that. Like I said, I just put my head down, show up to work every single day, and try to better myself and better my teammates. Because I know at the end of the day that, if we go out and do what we're supposed to do and we go out and work as hard as we can and, the results pay off and the results show, then none of that even matters.
Who has more energy, Frank Darby or Matt?
They do a good job of trading off, not going to lie. They do a great job of trading off. But then you get inside the building, you get in the meetings. I'm going to say Frank still got it. On the field, they trade off.
Who would you think is Max older and just knows?
Yeah, I mean, Mack's a little bit more experienced, but...
You use utensils then? You know Mack doesn't like to use utensils in that.
Yeah, we've had a conversation about that. I told him I could get down with it for some things, and I was like, some things, Mack, I'm going to just use a fork. Like, it's all right.
How's the relationship come with Kyle? Do you feel like it's progressed even from the beginning of camp?
Yeah, I mean, our relationship, has progressed since, all the way last year to, where we was talking a little bit here and there to, this off season, going over to his house, playing golf, obviously on the field, being together every single day. It's become, a gradual growing relationship, and obviously, working for him to, be who he is and go do what he does, and, it's going to be good.
Who's a better golfer?
Dang it. Him, he got me this year. Let's just say that. Yeah, he got me this year. We'll just say that.
Hey, Des, you guys are doing a ton of footwork stuff pre-practice, and I know all of us have played with your teams did footwork. Is this it seems to be ramped up even more, and it's just, you seem to be benefiting from it. Tell me about that, your work with Rags pre-practice and in Sunday practice.
Yeah, obviously, for the quarterback position, it's all about footwork. And then secondly, it's about conditioning too. Obviously, you got a lot of the big guys, a lot of the skilled guys who are, grinding and working and running, 34, 40 yards down the field. And then sometimes the quarterbacks just take like a yard drop. And so sometimes we use that as conditioning. But obviously footwork for us is the most important. Making sure we're having a good base, making sure our feet aren't getting too wide, making sure that our feet are quick but also subtle. And that pays off when we put on, the team film and you're not really thinking about it anymore. Whether it's good or bad, there's always things that we can learn from and fix. And, that's what he does every single day is, we go back, see what we did in the film, what we need to work on, and come out and do a drill tomorrow.
You feel like it translates, it seems to me it's translating in some of the 7-on-7 drills and stuff like that for you too.
Yeah, 100%. You talk about 7-on-7, that's obviously where, you think about your base and your fundamental the most when it's a live rep. And then once you get into a team period, it's more so, get it going. Obviously, you're thinking about it, but not thinking about it as much, trying to make it, second creature, second habit, and not really have to think about it. So, for us, it's just about, like I said, just being subtle, getting our feet going, and, it's great work that we do.
Bijan's one of your roommates. What's that been like? You were working last year, and so he's got so much attention on him.
It's been great. He's done a great job coming in. He's a cool guy when you talk about his personality. A great guy to be around, very friendly, easy to talk to. And then he loves ball. Like we said, when we come in, it's me, Logan, Taylor, and Bijan. We're all sitting around the table in there. As soon as we get the script, we're all going over the script together, and we obviously know it a little more than him. And, he's still learning and still doing a great job of picking up on everything, because a lot's thrown at him. But, we like to quiz him. We'll just ask him random questions, where he's supposed to be at here, where he's supposed to be at there. And he's done a great job of that, with a lot of things thrown at him.
Why? Do you know why he was put with you guys? I mean, it seems like a
Smart decision.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, no, obviously, he was, the top draft pick of the class, and obviously, you want him to play automatically. So, to play in this league, you got to know what the heck is going on. And, who better to know what the heck is going on than the quarterbacks do. And so, obviously, yeah, smart decision.
Is that some of that you think, too, because of where they're maybe envisioning using him? In that it's not just a running back situation with him. It could be at slot, it could be out wide. Like you said, you know them most.
Yeah, I mean, he's a versatile player. He's able to do a lot of things with the ball when the ball's in his hands. So, if we're able to move around wherever we're at, then obviously he's going to know a lot of different things. So to be able to do that, and to be able to learn those things is going to be good.
As Arthur said, the biggest thing from seeing you from year 1 to year 2 has been your command here in training camp. Would you reiterate that? And is there anything else you think you made the biggest jump in this year as opposed to last year?
Yeah, for me, like I said earlier, it's about confidence, and you talk about the command, but it's also just about them feeling it. Sometimes energy's down, you got to get the guys going. Yesterday I felt like as a team as a whole we kind of had like a lull day, where it was like our third day straight in pads. Guys were a little tired, legs were a little heavy, mind's a little gone, and so then we had to come out here today, and I made sure yesterday. Brought the whole offense up and just said, hey, make sure that tomorrow we don't have what we did today. Just make sure that we bring more energy than the defense does. Because that's all it's about is there's winners and there's losers. We want to be on the winning side of the ball. And so we did that today. And, for me, it's just about making sure that every single one of the guys on the offensive side of the ball, then obviously when we go play someone with a different color jersey, that everyone on the team is on the same page.
You watch the quarterback Netflix series or not, but one of the cool things I thought was Andy Reid lets the guys kind of come together and make their own plays. Do you guys ever come in your own and make your own plays? Like, coach, I got to pitch you something real quick. I got this idea.
Yeah, I think I saw that clip. They was doing it out at practice or something. But no, Coach Rags and Coach Smith do a great job of obviously, drawing up plays and coming up with what they want to come up with. And then whenever, we might have a thought or this or that, or maybe, Taylor ran some at Washington or somewhere else before that he think might helps out, we might bring it up in meetings. Some of the stuff that maybe I ran in college, that I'm comfortable with, that they'll bring back. So there's little things like that where, we shoot off ideas. Some get rejected, some don't. But, yeah, it's just kind of like a mutual kind of relationship of just bouncing things off of each other.
Is there a way to project kind of the path? I mean, your path at Cincinnati was such where, you know, there was this escalation piece. It feels somewhat similar to what's transpired here. Do you sense those similarities in what happened to UC and what's going on here in terms of responsibility, playing time, all those leadership things too?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of similarities, but, you know, no one has a time machine, so we can't go from 3 years from now and see what we're going to look like. But for us, you know, it's just about going in and putting in the work. Like I said earlier, if we know that we can put in the work and put our head down and go and make each other better every single day, then we know that our future is bright.
We've heard a lot from front office about third year, but 3-year plan, that sort of thing. How much of that makes its way to you, those big picture issues?
I would say not very many. You know, like I said, I focus on my job every single day, day in and day out. You know, my job today was to go out here and lead practice in high red zone and first, second, third down. And so that's what I went out there and did. You know, I'm not really thinking about too much 3 to 5 years, except I'm thinking about 1:30, because when we got meetings, and I got to be locked back in.
We've been hearing the phrase positionless football more this year than last year. And today Coach Smith said they put a lot on you at quarterback. How much of that is related to having so many players that can be moved around at different spots?
Yeah, there's that, and then there's, you know, just the different types of formations and motions and shifts that we get into. You know, you look around the league, there's some teams who will line up in a formation and, you know, snap the ball, and that'll be it. Whereas us, you know, that's not the case. You know, we're going to have someone moving, someone motioning, probably almost on every play. So, you know, not only, you know, is it hard on myself to be able to know everything, but like I said earlier, you know, all other 10 guys out there on the field have to know exactly where they got to be at any given moment.
You're a good fit for those responsibilities?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah. Like I said, I think I take my preparation, you know, as serious, if not as anyone else. And to be able to just show up every single day and go to work, I feel like obviously that's my, you know, obligated job.
What was the mood like when a guy like Greenwich goes down today and everybody, you know, knows it's kind of serious?
Yeah, obviously that's tough. You know, he went down, and, you know, obviously I was in there, and, you know, you hear him, you know, saying cuss words and everything, and, you know, so you obviously know something, you know, is not right, and it's hurt bad. You know, and before that, you know, the practice, the vibe was up. Like I said, for offense, the vibe was going, the energy was good. And then after that, you kind of felt it drop down a little bit. You know, that's tough, but, you know, things like that do happen in the game, and, you know, we got to go back the next play and be able to get going, and without a lull in the game. So, you know, that's one thing that obviously you never want to see happen. But, you know, when those situations do arise, how are you going to handle them?
In terms of understanding and knowing the offense, where would you say is kind of the biggest gain that you've made from right now from this time last year?
I would say, you know, knowing the offense and, you know, asking me to draw up every play, you know, you could do that with ease. But for me, you know, the biggest thing is when we talk about game plan. And I feel like the biggest jump I've made for me is just being able to, you know, spit off a play, or, you know, give me like the first half of the play, I'll give you the back half or whatever it may be. So when, you know, we're in there and, you know, Mike cuts out or whatever, and I only got the front half of the play, I could be able to spit off the back half. Or, you know, maybe I got the back half of the play but didn't really hear what he said on the front part. I can put together pieces and be able to figure out the play. So I feel like that's the biggest jump for me from year 1 to year 2. Obviously, that's being in the same offense, the preparation, and everything that comes with it.
What do you see from Jesse Bates back there as he's working defense?
Yeah, Jesse, Richie, all those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've done a great job. You know, this camp, being able to disguise things, getting into different looks, flying around the ball, coming downhill and attacking, and being ball hawks. They've done a tremendous job this camp of just being physical as well. You know, AJ, Jeff, Trey Flowers, everyone on the edge, they've done a great job of putting hands on and, you know, playing a physical football game. And, you know, that's what we want on the defensive side of the ball.
The idea of positionless football and guys being able to line up in different places, does the way that you read out a play or the way that you see a play change if Kyle or Drake or someone else is tagged on a specific route?
Yes and no. You know, sometimes then from the quarterback position where it makes it easy is, yes, we, you know, have all different things out of every different whatever. But a lot of the times it's, you know, ending up in spots. Guys are in one spot or another, whether it's a triangle, a square, a high-low, whatever it may be. But then obviously you get into your situation football. Hey, you're a guy to have it. You know, who's your guy you want to go to? What do you want to do here? You know, maybe a certain play is designed for a certain guy. Maybe it's designed for a matchup, or like we said, different personnel. So yes and no to that.
Go back to the roommate thing. Who gets up first? How's the snack sharing situation? Any snorers? How's it going?
So snacks are done by rookies, but there's none in the room. But I think Bijan got his for the running backs room. Me and myself, still being the youngest guy, still had to buy snacks for the quarterbacks. And then we literally all get up at the exact same time, and we all get out and get in the building. So.
Has Bijan been told about the chicken on the flight next week to Miami? How his responsibility for the chicken?
Yeah, I don't know if that's Bijan, but someone's definitely got to get the chicken for the flight. That'll be necessary and crucial. I think it's Popeyes maybe. Yeah, so.
Country? Ooh.
It's maybe difficult to answer, but talking all those motions and shifts, what percentage of those would you say is for you to gather information about the defense, and what percentage would you say is for you to change the picture for the defense?
Yeah, like I said, I feel like that we go out there and, whether it's making it hard on them or, finding something for us, we just like to do, whatever we can do to get an advantage. And obviously using motions, using shifts, that's obviously one thing that we do.
Inside or outside?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell how it'll be in game plans right now. But as we're installing defenses one at a time, you'll have basically a primary spot that you'll normally play and then a secondary. So, right now and a lot of the stuff that we've put in, it's been me, kind of in the middle, getting to roam around, make calls, and, kind of be near the ball on about everything. So, fun. That's cool with that. I'm cool with that. It's fun, and I'm sure as some more calls get in with these different installs that might get to do some other things too.
What are you seeing out of Troy so far, just in being able to work with him?
He's such an awesome person, but on the football field he's just starting to really, really excel. You know what I'm saying? Just his burst, his speed. Obviously, everybody saw him at the combine. So what he's able to do when it is time for him to shoot his gun is special, and it's awesome. But all the things that maybe you don't see as much, just the calls that he makes to checks, the awareness that he has. He's a very smart player. So getting to play next to him is awesome.
What's it like going up against Bijan Robinson? I know you've had to do that a couple times.
It's good. It forces you to get better. You see why they draft him with an 8th overall pick, and at the end of the day, he'll get to choose what he becomes in this league and what he develops into. But it's nice to know that we have one of those guys that, he has the ability to become one of those guys that defenses have to change their scheme around. You know what I'm saying? That you have to, when you game plan for him, you got to change some things up. And I think he has the opportunity to become that type of player, and we're all rooting for him to be that.
Arthur Smith was up here talking about how this is the most fun he's ever had coaching. Is that something you notice? Maybe he does something a certain way or kind of acts a certain way? Do you see that?
He gets into it out there. You know what I mean? And I think all the head coaches I've been around, have moments where they get into it. But he's about jog throughs, walkthroughs. He's trying to take tight end reps. He's getting up there. He's involved. He's into it. And you can tell that he's really excited. He's really passionate about what he's doing. And so getting to feed off the energy and also try to match and exceed that energy is really awesome.
Is that you kind of said it there, feeding off that energy? But how do you guys kind of take that and kind of use that energy and kind of propel yourself in a positive way and not get too jacked up with that?
Because he's so offensive minded. Obviously, he's doing a lot of that. It makes it it can, because of his energy. Typically he's coaching the offense, so it'll make it so that you get pretty juiced up on defense because either he's really excited about something they did and you want to get him back, or maybe he's challenging his offense and it makes you as a defense feel good and you want to keep that up. You know what I'm saying?
You were mentioning Bijan and his versatility. There's a handful of guys that we can think of that can line up in so many different places, running backs that can line up as a wideout or whatever. When you're on defense, how real is that positionless football thing as a complicating factor for you?
Yeah, I think it makes it hard to call some of your calls that you like as a defense, whether it be man zone coverage, just because of the mismatches that it can create across the field. Every player, every position kind of has their nest where they're comfortable, where they reside, where they're able to dominate. You know what I'm saying? And you're able to take them out of that. The great players are able to go anywhere in the field and make plays. But there's a lot of players in the league that can't do that. And, when you get someone out isolated in a spot that they're not used to being in, or they're not used to practicing that technique day in and day out, you're able to open up some gaps. So, yeah, it makes it tough.
From your experience, how do you see, what do you see across the line from Ridder as a guy who can take advantage of this versatility on offense and be a guy who can make sure everybody's in the right spot?
Just watching out there, being lined up across from him, watching the reps where I'm not in with him, he's in control. And you can tell that, he's ready to take this thing, and he's got a great opportunity in front of him, and you can tell that he's ready to take advantage of it. One thing getting here, I'll compliment him on is I didn't know he had the arm strength he does. When I played against him the first couple times, obviously he was younger, but watching him sling that thing out here, he's got a little cannon on him. So I'm excited for the opportunity he has, and obviously we're all rooting for him and hoping that he can be everything he wants to be and everything we hope he can. Because if he does, like you said, it's going to be really hard to beat us. You got a lot of weapons, a lot of positionless players, and he's got all the tools to do it. So excited for him.
You're talking about not knowing as much about his arm strength, even though you had seen him before, and obviously you've seen a lot of these guys on the other side before. What's something else that maybe has stuck out to you, like, oh, I never really realized this about X person?
I'll say their whole line. Seeing the way they work is awesome, and seeing just when you're in practice every day and you're getting rep after rep after rep after rep, it's a little different than a game plan, right? So you're in different calls, and just seeing the way they are like congruent, the way they work together, it's pretty special, I think, and it's awesome. You can see why they ran so well last year and why they're going to run so well this year. You know what I mean? So we're excited for them.
Kay, when you first brought in, a lot of people looked at the numbers and said, "Oh, he had 7 sacks last year." So there was a lot of conversation about whether you'd be up on the line of scrimmage. But going back and looking at some of your film from last year, it seemed like you were standing up quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Is that one of the things that Ryan Nielsen brings to the table, like that versatility, not only having to rush from that first level, but bring guys from that second and third levels as well?
Yeah, no, he's yeah, when we get to those game plans and start putting stuff in for different teams, you'll see first, second, and third level. You'll see guys line up in different spots, and he's going to put the pressure on them to be able to figure out the protection, because if you don't know who's coming and you got a bunch of guys that can rush and can get to the quarterback and can make the play when they get there, that's really hard to defend. So he's awesome when it comes to game planning that stuff, how the O-line and their coordinators are going to handle stuff, and he's really good at that chess game. So coming here, getting to work with him again and do that, I'm pretty excited.
How cool, I was talking to David on your model, and you talk about one of the reasons why he came to Atlanta was because of Ryan Nielsen. Like, was that the same for you? And
yeah.
How cool is it for him to be hired here and say, hey, this is a guy you may need to take a look at, or this is Kaden is a guy that I need to have on my team to rebuild his defense? Yeah, no, 100%. Him coming here, that obviously became something that place here. I was really, you don't know what's gonna happen for agency. You don't know who's gonna call, who's not. But at the end of the day, I was hoping that Atlanta would, and when they did, when finally able to talk to him and get stuff going, just excited, because playing for him is awesome. Playing his scheme is awesome. He's an awesome person, awesome coach. He's made me better in my first 4 years in the NFL, and I'm excited for however many years I get to play with him, because he's just an awesome coach. He's detailed, and he'll take the time. You know what I mean? Even as a linebacker, when I was young, I'd be able to go up into his office and he'd just break down film with me, watch pass rush with me, show me different things, and help teach me. So he's an awesome man. I'm really excited to continue to work with him. So what does that next level look like for you? When you talk about how you came up and not necessarily the expectations probably weren't as high, I'm assuming, when you first came in, to now, like, okay, free agent contract, I'm with my defense coordinator. So like, what are some of the expectations for you going into this season, or how do you meet those goals coming in with those new expectations?
Yeah. No, I think really just comes down to consistency. You know what I mean? Like, out at practice, out in the games, you can't try to force it. You know what I'm saying? And depending on the game plan, I might be in one spot. I might get to play 2, 3, 4 spots in a game, and whatever plays come to me at that time, just consistently make those plays. And I feel like Coach Hodges over in New Orleans really helped me focus on that. Well, I got my first shot, my first opportunity. Just whatever comes to you, go make that play. Go make that play. Play in the moment. Don't think it can change. You know what I mean? Looking too far ahead, trying to predict things, get too many expectations. Just try to let all that go. whatever plays come your way, go make them, and everything will take care of itself from there.
What are your thoughts on all the mustaches going on with Ryan Nielsen, Arthur Smith, Troy Anderson?
Art's trying to get me to get one. I said, this is a couple weeks already right here. I'm not sure it's going to get there. But, we'll see if I can give you one.
Arthur said this is the most competitive camp he can remember, the most fun he's had coaching. Do you feel that? Do you feel that, kind of the good vibe in the building?
I mean, definitely. Like I said the other day, the competition is rising, and it's steady every day, and it just gets better every practice, and it makes you win your matchups, and it just it's hard every day. So just coming out here going against these guys, it makes everybody better.
We've seen you, feels like take a step at a step every day in terms of what they let you do. How close are you to just full go? They're going to let you do everything,
That's an answer for Coach Smith.
Is that because you don't want to tell us, or because he hasn't told you?
That's for him.
He also said this is the most fun he's ever had coaching. Have you kind of noticed that from him?
I mean, definitely. Everybody's energy is, shifting, So just we're all, feeding off of him, because he's the coach. So leading behind him and just everybody, like I said, just joining him and bringing it out here onto the field.
What's it look like when he's having fun coaching?
Everybody's smiling.
Do you think the sense you might be used a little differently this year?
No. It's a
Well,
game plan.
I didn't even mean in targets, just kind of where you line up on a play-to-play.
Just go out there and execute whatever's being called.
One of the things that Terry was talking about this morning is that he feels a different level of competition from this team in training camp. Where do you sense that the most when you're out there?
I mean, everywhere, on the field, off the field, in the meeting room, everybody wants to be perfect. So just everybody striving to do, their job and, just competition, compete every day.
How would you describe the level of competition out here at training camp?
It's high.
Does it feel different than in years prior?
I mean, I wouldn't say it feels different or, compared it to. It's just each year we've, been getting better and competing more, and the competition just growing and,
Hey, Kyle, I just missed how you doing update. How's it going update? Can I get that?
I'm doing well.
Update on how the practice has been going and stacking and building and so forth. They bring you back.
Doing well, just taking it day by day.
How are you feeling out there? Is they building up your workload?
Pretty good. Yeah.
So going off of what Murray was saying, you said you felt kind of a progression from the last couple of years, and that's something we've heard a lot of people talking about, that 3-year plan for kind of this new regime that came in. What have you seen differently? Like, what do you feel differently from like year 1, year 2, and now here?
For myself specifically, just trying to get more mentally faster, physically stronger, things like that, where just, translating things from the classroom to the field and, be able to play more free.
Have you noticed things from like the coaching staff and the way they're approaching things a little bit differently maybe in those first 2 years?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay. What's it been like being around a guy like Mack Hollins?
He's a very vocal leader. So he's one of the guys where he's going to tell you how to, how to do it rather than, some people who show you. So just learning a lot from Mack. He's been in this, league for some years now, and it's always, something you can learn from anybody.
What's one of the pieces of information that maybe he said to you and you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense?
I mean, there's a lot of things, but just being in your book, knowing your book inside out.
Not eating without forks and stuff,
I knew y'all was
right?
coming with that. No, we don't have that conversation.
Do you go out to eat with him? Have you seen it happen?
I wouldn't, no. I would go out to eat with him, but we're not doing that in public. Maybe in the
Not
facility.
taking your shoes.
Yeah.
I heard he takes them off under the table.
Yeah, no.
During practice, who would you say is probably your number one, practice buddy, someone that you feed off the most of while you're out here training?
I would say either Felipe or Frank Darby. Both of those guys are like 2 of my best friends, so just seeing them and their energy. And on the offensive side, obviously the whole defense, they make us compete higher.
What have you seen from Frank in this camp? From our perspective, it feels like he has a little bit more of an increased sense of urgency, and he's obviously had that play today. What do you see from him, just knowing him so well?
Just steady growth, and that's for all of us, just trying to get better each day.
How do you feel the relationship with Des is going? Do you feel like it's progressed from when you started camp, just kind of getting a feel for each other?
I mean, definitely each day we're trying to, our relationship and our bonds getting stronger, just getting reps at it and, working up to September 10th.
How have you seen him grow and really step into his role this year?
I mean, as starting quarterback, obviously they step up a little more. So just seeing him grab his team and be more of a leader, that's something, everybody just, clinging on his energy.
Is he a vocal leader or more lead by example?
I'd say about 50-50. He can speak up when he needs to, and he'll also show you how to work.
Kyle, what are you seeing from the other side of the ball? You know,
Competition, big
I was
guys.
just saying they're flying around. Tell me about you feeling that, right? You feeling just the physicality of that defense. What's the difference from what you felt last year?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a difference, or last year we still had a great defense. This year we got a great defense. So just going up and like letting the competition grow, and you're getting better each week, each day.
How much did you work with Dez last year? Obviously in camp you got whatever reps you got with him, but once the season started in that first half, did you do much with him at all? Or?
I mean, yeah, you work with all the quarterbacks.
One more Frank Darby question. What's your best Frank story or memory? There's probably a lot.
His rookie dance. He showed us his New Jersey moves.
Did you guys come in the same year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys both probably had
yeah.
it then.
Yeah.
Well, can you describe it?
It's just like Jersey has this like unique dance that they do. I don't even know how to describe it. But I definitely can't do it. I'm
about to ask him about that.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
he's
gotta
always
ask him.
dancing, but I don't know what the New Jersey dance
you got to
is.
ask him what's his like up north dance.
Up north dance.
Yeah.
But you're from kind of up there.
No,
more than here.
Jersey they dance.
They're more up
Jersey
there.
and like Baltimore, all that area.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm asking.
Everyone talks about this
In a 3-year plan, I wouldn't say there's a necessarily timeline on it. Just each year trying to get better each day, each game, and just slow drip.
Okay, we were just hearing Terry talk about it. Both Arthurs talk about it. That I didn't know if the players had any involvement with this 3-year plan.
Oh no, that's a coach's answer.
That's above house.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've heard a lot about the physicality and kind of competition that you guys are bringing. Kyle was just talking about it as well. Have you felt that on the field?
You can feel it even today. I think the biggest thing today, Coach Nielsen made a big emphasis on it. Immediately and stuff, we're gonna attack and we're gonna be aggressive every single play. And I think that's pretty much what we try to put an emphasis on our practice. And you can just feel the energy. Everybody's bringing it, playing fast and running to the football. And honestly, it just makes practice so much more fun when the energy is out there. We're just having fun out there practicing.
And obviously you only have last year to compare it to, but how is that different, I guess? Do you see that difference? Do you feel it?
Me personally?
Yeah.
It's a huge difference. Coming in as a rookie, you don't really have any type of footprint. Everything you do is new compared to your second year, and you've been in the league for a year. You know what to expect. You kind of know what the schedule is going to be like moving forward. And I feel like for me, I'm moving faster and I have more knowledge of the game. So I definitely like where I'm at right now, and the goal is just to continue to get better. By the time the season starts, you want to consistently do things better compared to how you did it the previous year.
Is it easier going into the second year? Just all the rookie stuff is out of the way and you
Well,
can focus on yourself?
Honestly, it definitely is better. You can just focus on football and just get better out there, honestly. It's night and day, year one to year two, honestly.
Was it difficult switching to a new DC and Ryan Nielsen, though?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it was difficult. It's a different scheme. By the end of the day, it just comes down to learning the plays, and we had OTS to kind of get comfortable with the plays, so I feel like now I'm at a point where I understand the defense for the most part and just try to go out there and play fast.
It's a new team, but literally every single guy is saying that you're the leader in the receiver room. Is it just because you have been in the league for a while, or did you just naturally adapt that?
I mean, that's a great honor for sure. It's probably a mix. I've had a lot of experience. I've played in this league a little while. I've been to the highest point and I've been to the lowest point, so I've kind of seen a lot. But I think leadership is not a one guy has it all the time. One of my favorite quotes I'll always say is, "You're never too old to learn. You're never too young to teach." I learned just as many things from Drake or Key or Zay as I learned from, CP.
That's very insightful and very great, especially because there are so many young guys in that room. What do you learn from the younger guys since you are learning from them?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times when you get older, you get stuck in your ways of like, this is how something's supposed to be. And then you never think of a question that a young guy might come in and be like, why do we do this? Or why would you run the route like that instead of that? And it seems dumb, but it's actually, why do I do that?
Yeah.
Do I do it just because I've been doing it? Or do I know the actual base reason behind it? So it always keeps you refreshed and new and not getting stagnant in how you are as a player.
From someone who's been in the league for a minute, you're bringing a fresh perspective to the culture here, which is building and it's new and it's exciting. How would you describe the team right now?
Yeah, it's super exciting because I think guys are learning, number one, how preparation and stuff off the field matters towards on the field. And it's easy to have great effort on the field. And sometimes guys forget that the effort has to go off the field. In your tape study, in your recovery, in your sleep. They think, okay, if I just put effort out here for 2 hours, I'll be good for the day. But what do you do with the other 22 hours? Are you sleeping for 8 hours? Are you sleeping for 4? Are you doing rehab on your phone the whole time? Are you doing rehab at all? So effort goes into everything, not just the field.
Tell me about your relationship with Kaden Hodge, because I think you guys are pretty close, right?
Yeah, that's my dog. I guess we're the two old guys in the room, so we have that. And we've played against each other and been in the league, and we have funny stories and stuff like that, so it's funny. And he wants to beat me, so like he never wore Jordans until I wore Jordans.
Okay.
He never had the visors until I got the visor. Really, I did that. I created it. When he comes out with the shirt, don't let him say he created it.
Wait, is it coming?
He might, you never know. With him, he take all my stuff.
Okay. And you have a lacrosse background, don't you?
Yeah, love lacrosse.
How does that help you at all, if anything?
I think it's just like lacrosse, basketball, just the ability to move, the ball always moving and having to be on your toes and having to constantly be looking for stuff. Nothing's really set in either one of those sports, and that's why I really enjoyed them. Lacrosse was like a mix of basketball and football. But yeah, I think, kids only play one sport nowadays, and it's like the worst thing ever. I think you should play every single sport and learn why basketball is good. All the best players I've ever been around were like great hoopers or great wrestlers or great soccer players, or they're great in something else because they were able to take skills from that craft and put it into the football craft.
If football hadn't happened, what sport would you have ended up?
Well, if lacrosse got paid the same as football, I would do that. But it most certainly does not. So.
No.
Yeah.
I know that you just got here,
Yep.
but a lot of people have talked about how the competition here is a lot different than the last 2 years. Have you felt that, and what does that feel like on the field for you?
I mean, I don't know obviously what the last few years have been like, but any room I've ever been in, I've been taught to compete versus anybody. There's nobody has a set spot when you walk into training camp. So there's no, I got this spot already locked up. Y'all are competing for third or fourth, whatever it may be. Everybody's competing for the spot. Your job can get taken any day. I don't care what position it is. I don't care what side of the ball it is. Your job can get taken, so you better come ready to compete.
Did you never looked like playing the PLL or MLL? Like, you weren't good enough for that, were you?
I was gonna play in college, but out of high school, it was like I'll play football instead. I would have loved to play in the PLL.
So you kick it around at all? Because I mean, Carolina's good.
Yeah, Carolina was good. Like I knew a lot of the guys who played. We actually had a player who's in the PLL now, Mark McNeil, who played football and lacrosse. I love lacrosse, but there was no long-term goal for me.
Do you have a cross still?
I do. When I'm back home in Maryland, I'll still play, and it's still a lot of fun.
See, if Bernhard had not retired, you would have been good.
Yeah, I would have been able to play with him all the time.
You've been around a lot of quarterbacks in this league. Obviously, Desmond doesn't have a ton of experience starting, but he is the guy here. How do you sense his maturity and his handle of everything on the offense?
I think he's getting a hang of it. The quarterback position is not an easy one. A lot of things rest on your shoulders at the quarterback position, and I think he's growing. Just in the, I've only been here a short time, and I wasn't here last year, obviously, but in the short time I've been here, he's learned how to mature and how to become a better player.